Welcome to the Latched On Podcast. The Latched On Podcast is about the outdoors in Appalachia. Everything from hunting, fishing, camping, hiking, bushcraft, and woodsmanship, and digging into the depths of what makes this area of Appalachia so unique as a whole. It's time to strap in for the Latched On Podcast. Alright guys, welcome to another episode of the Latched On Podcast with Zac and Andrew. And we are going to talk about spring plans, and I guess we're going to talk about Zac's new purchase that he got in the last couple months.
Yep.
And how he's planning on using that for the spring plans and for future plans in terms of hunting. And I gave him, don't worry guys, before he talks about what it is, I gave him all the things that he needs to look forward to about buying this purchase, because I have one too, and how much it is a great thing to have, but at the same time it can be such a headache. So let's go into that.
Yeah. Well, okay. So spring 2024, that's where we're at. And I did get me in my opinion, a really badass John boat. And it's not most people picture John boats as little itty bitty boats with tiller drive, and you can only haul like two people. Yeah. Now, I bought a 17-foot by 54 John boat. I can haul 5 to 6 depending on the people. I can haul 4 or 5 grown
probably
men.
Comfortably 3 or 4.
4 grown men is no problem.
Yeah. Especially if you're just going back
with
and forth
kids,
somewhere.
I can haul 5 to 6 with kids, depending on the gear and stuff. Hunting 4 people without a doubt, completely comfortable, safe. It's got a Yamaha 50 on the back if anybody cares. It's got a steering console. It's not a center console. It's on the right side, and absolutely love it. It's new to me. It's not a brand. I didn't buy a brand new one. The guy had it is a real good friend of mine, and him and his dad upgraded, so he gave me a really good deal on it. And I'm very thankful of him for doing that, because it gave me something, because I've been wanting one for my kids, mainly for my wife and kids is the main reason I wanted it. I wanted to be able to take them out and expose them to fishing. We don't have a whole lot of great fishing in our exact county, but there's a lot of great places away from, within an hour to 2 hours. We have, if you put a 2-hour bubble around us, we have a crap ton of great lakes for fishing, any kind of fish.
Yeah, especially south of us, called the Tennessee-Virginia border.
In the Tennessee.
There's some in eastern Kentucky that are really good
Eastern Kentucky, and then even further than that, we have even more in Virginia. So I really wanted that for the kids, because bank fishing's fun, and you can do stuff, but I want to get my kids hooked on this stuff, figuratively and literally, So having a boat just gives you so much more opportunity. And also, my wife already bought a tube for it. It's strong enough. That thing will fly too. It does get out.
Nearest lake around us that you can tube on is Flanagan up near Clintwood. It's about maybe a 30-minute drive for us from where me and Zac both live at.
Yeah, but I got a bunch of, where I'm in the military, my unit was based out of Tennessee. I got a bunch of buddies that live in Tennessee.
There's a bunch of places down there.
And there's so many big
Cherokee,
lakes.
Norris, Douglas, those are great lakes.
So we're going to be a lot of just summertime fun stuff, but for the wife and kids, and it's going to be a blast. I'm so excited to have it. The kids already love it. I took them out once on a local lake and didn't catch any fish or anything because it's winter. All the fish are pretty dang low from what I could tell. And, of course, with kids and stuff, but I'll take them when the spawn starts happening and get them, like I said, get them hooked on it when they start slamming a bunch of fish and it's not on the bank. So I'm excited for that and got it fixed up. I did have to do some work on it. But I didn't mind a bit. Working on boats was actually pretty fun. I've never really done it before. I'm a mechanic at heart. But tearing it, I literally gutted the entire boat. Andrew's seen it, and replaced a lot of stuff on it. But it's not very expensive either. It wasn't.
I love it where it's an aluminum boat too.
Yeah, aluminum John. So it's aluminum flat bottom John boat. So I can pull it right up on the bank. I can use it to. And the big thing I wanted that style is so we can use it to access hunting, because there's a lot of lakes in Virginia, just in general, that is surrounded by national forests, so we can use it for turkey hunting, deer hunting, bear hunting. We can use it for all kinds of stuff.
Squirrel camping.
Yeah,
I mean you can use it for anything.
Yeah, and I can
anything that has access to national forest. You're set.
Yep, exactly. And then you can
you can car camp it. You can technically car camp from a boat. In terms of you can bring the same gear you would go car camping.
Exactly,
and have a boat.
And then camp right on the shore, and you're so much further away from people. It's nice because it's a force multiplier is what we call it in the military. Force multiplier, because it gives you access to stuff that more than average people don't have, and it's definitely worth it. Because like I said, you can pull it right up on the bank. You don't have to have a special dock or nothing like that, because it ain't a big fancy bass boat, and I don't want a big fancy bass boat. So really excited for that. It's almost completely done. It's already water worthy. I've already taken it out 2 or 3 times now. I'm going to do a couple more things aesthetically to make it more pleasing for the wife and kids. Put some foam, that hydrofoam foam decking in it. It had carpet that was pretty wore out. I already tore it out. I'm going to put that stuff down so it's not hot. The metal's not hot. And you can wear, my kids can be barefoot in it and not hurt, simple stuff like that. I put 2 new batteries in it, and I got a NOCO battery charger, which, by the way, is pretty awesome if you have a boat. I highly recommend getting one of those. You can get them off Amazon or anywhere that sells boat stuff. I'm hard mounted it in the back hatch of my boat. It's hardwired to both my batteries. I have a deep cycle and a lithium, and it's hardwired to them. So when I back it in at the house, I literally take an extension cord and plug it into that NOCO battery charger, and it trickle charges my batteries. I don't have to pull them out.
That's nice.
They make them to where they have alligator clips, and you can plug it in your house, and you can bring them in. But I wanted it to where I could leave the batteries in the boat and never have to I don't have to pull them every time I get home. And that's awesome. Because, the AGM battery is over 50 pounds. Just a standard crank battery. And then the lithium is a lot lighter, but it was bigger too. It's a longer battery, and it was 21 pounds, I think is what it was. But it's so nice, I literally just run an extension cord out and plug it in. And then the few small trips I've taken on it, within 4 hours, both batteries are charged back up.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it does great. Got a good trolling motor on it. So I'm really excited to use that for trying to get my kids. We want to crappie fish because my kids love fish. And I love crappie and the taste of them and fishing for them.
One of my top 3 best tasting fish.
Oh, yes. Golden Crispies, as I've heard a couple of people call them. So,
they're probably number 1.
Yeah.
I think they're my number 1 favorite tasting fish.
Yeah, I think so. It's just freshwater that's easy to catch, easy to cook, and it's...
what they remind me of is like when I was a kid, I would catch bluegill a lot. Bluegill's a good fish, don't get me wrong. But I think I would put it up like 2 tiers above bluegill in terms of taste, and the fact that they grow bigger, you get more meat.
Yeah, you get a lot more off of them.
Yeah.
So they're great. They're easy to catch. When you find one of them, there's probably a whole school of them too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
My top 3 fish is crappie, catfish, trout.
Yep.
And they're all delicious.
Yep. And speaking of the catfish, I've been watching a channel. It's pretty cool. He's out of Texas. The Lake Fork guy, I think so.
Yeah, I've watched Lake Fork guy.
He's with the Guggen Squad, the bait brand or whatever, and he's a member of them. And I've been watching a bunch of his videos. He does he doesn't just fish. He hunts, he fishes.
He does a lot of stuff.
Well, he did a video, it was like 6 months ago, about making your own catfish jugs with pool noodles. And they're super simple. They're cheap as dirt. I mean, they are just as cheap as it gets. So I'm going to be making some.
I think the only thing in Virginia you have to do is you got to be within eyesight of them.
So what I seen was you had to have your name, phone number, and address on them. And you have to check them with every 24 hours.
Within every 24 hours. Okay, I didn't know that. I know that was
do your own research.
I know that was with limb lines and stuff like that because I've been researching that because I got a bunch of limb lines in my boat. And I keep the same little copper tags I use for my traps. I put them on there. That way I don't have to. But
check your own laws. We're not lawyers. We're not held liable for that.
And I'm not totally aware of all specific game regulations.
I was researching it last night when I was watching the videos, and the only things I can find in Virginia law and on the DWR website is they have to be checked with every 24 hours because they don't want stuff just
they just
dying
don't want stuff.
That's pretty bad. Yeah, that's pretty suffering. Same thing with traps. You got to check it every 24 hours, and it had to have your name, which you can. As long as it's permanently affixed, and this guy, what he does is uses a pool noodle and some duct tape, and then, of course, your rigging that you need. You can use whatever you want to use. I'm just going to use what he used. But, you can Sharpie on the duct tape, and it's not going to come off. So that's what I plan on doing.
Yeah, you could do that option, and if you're like a trapper like me who have traps and you can buy them little copper stamp things, you can get them on Amazon. You can get like a pack of 100 on Amazon with like the custom stamp it for
your
you.
Own stuff in,
$5.
Oh, that ain't bad.
Yeah, and here's what I do, and it's totally acceptable with our DWR standards. Put your name, your phone number, and instead of putting my address, something like that, I put the number for my license on there.
Oh, okay.
So if it's like the CID, and all our game warden has to do is just look at the tag, look at my number, type it in. He's like, oh, he's good.
Put it in on his phone.
He's good.
They got access to all that.
Yeah. So that's also a really nifty thing to think about, especially if your state has, which I would assume all states have a CID number or something similar to that, because that's all you are when you purchase that thing is a number.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier.
Like your driver's license.
Like I literally have my license number memorized. So if I ever forgot my wallet or if I can't access my license on my phone and I don't have a paper license on me for some reason, Game War can just be like, hey, do you got your license? Like, no, but I can give you my CID number.
Yep.
And all they got to do is type it in, and they're like, oh, you're good.
Yep. But
so it's always a nifty thing to remember, is try to remember it's like a 10-digit code. It's a 10-digit number. That's all it is.
But, yeah, so I plan on doing that, and we're going to use it to turkey hunt, and plan on taking some of the catfish jugs, maybe dropping them in on the way to turkey hunt.
And I can bring my limb lines, too, and we can tie those off to the bank, too, and that's just extra.
Yeah.
That's extra thing. I think
set them and then go turkey hunting, and then on the way out, pick them all up.
Yep.
Might be able to get some crappie, catfish, and turkey all on the same day. So that's my plan.
Where I didn't get no deer this last fall, I said I'm going to hit it hard for the next couple of months, trying to catch trout, crappie, and catfish as much as I can before turkey season. Stock up that freezer, supplement.
Yeah.
So, that'll be fun. I went trout fishing a couple days ago with some friends. I'm going to go tomorrow and try and catch some trout. Hopefully, just around here, I think they stocked Norton Reservoir a couple days ago, and then I may go to some rivers down near Big Stone. That's where we had luck last time. That's what they're there for. Yep. They stock them, so they're stocking for taking it. Mm-hmm. You can go on DWR's website every time after 3 p.m. on a weekday, and they will tell you where they stocked. Mm-hmm. So I always usually wait about a day or two after. Yeah,
it's usually pretty full the day of, especially if it's a weekend day.
Got a bunch of people who are retired. They got nothing better to do, or you got some people that follow the damn trucks. I've seen people, no shit, follow the damn trucks and be like, they're stocking up here. Yeah. So, so like my winter / early spring plans I honestly, I wanted to do a lot of trapping, especially in January and February for beaver, but I just didn't have the time. I just haven't had the time to get out. Mm-hmm. So I ain't trapped much, but so all my gear's dialed in from last year. So I guess all I can do is just fish.
Yep.
Fish for trout, because trout will still bite even if it's negative 10 degrees outside.
That's true.
And crappie will start up here really in about March, so about a month before turkey season will be good to go.
On through turkey season usually.
And all through turkey season. And then the bass will start spawning at the end of turkey season. Well, about midway through about mid-April to early May.
I've never been a big bass fisherman, but I did buy some stuff.
Yeah.
I've been buying fish. So now
I do love catch and release bass, but I have ate bass before, and people are like, "Oh, it's too lakey, or it just it doesn't taste good."
A lot of people are a big fan of white bass.
White bass is really good, and not Flanagan. Flanagan don't have white bass, but they have hybrids.
Yeah,
and it's like the only lake this far west in Virginia that does stock hybrids. I don't know if South Holston stocks striped hybrids or not. I don't know for sure. I'd have to check. But I know Flanagan does have a good striped bass population.
Yeah.
Or hybrids. And apparently it's about the same time, like if you're in the summer and you're going out in the middle of the night to catch catfish. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the same mentality.
Yeah.
You just put a bluegill on the end of your hook or a chicken liver, and a hybrid will go after it.
Yeah.
So, and I've heard it's really good eating too.
Yeah. So do that.
Also got to think about the walleye run. I've never actually caught a walleye. I've never ate a walleye, but my wife's uncle says it's the best tasting fish in the world. Mm-hmm. I say it's going to be a tall order to beat a crappie.
Yeah.
But usually about the end of February is when they start running up Flanagan. Okay. So I might try to go after some walleye, catch some of them.
Okay. We'll have to get your boat. What do you need? Do you have anything you got to do to your boat to get it going?
Just got to put gas in it.
Put gas in it?
Yeah.
Right.
It's set to go. I got to trickle charge it, top off the batteries, put some gas in it, and she's good to go.
That sounds good. What kind of boat do you have?
It is an old 76 Bumblebee.
Nice.
With an old 55 horsepower Evinrude on it.
Heck yeah.
And my papa bought it back in the 70s. And the transom actually fell off of it in 90.
Oh my gosh.
And he just never messed with it.
Yeah.
It just sat up at his place, I'd say up until maybe about 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And his neighbor, it's fiberglass. I don't mess with fiberglass. I don't know nothing about. I know the basic method of how to apply fiberglass and all that stuff, where I worked at an auto parts store and all that stuff. But that doesn't mean I'm confident on doing it myself. Mm-hmm. So his neighbor took the back end off, put a new piece of plywood on there, put all this new fiberglass on there, painted it up, made it look nice. And then me and my papa is a good mechanic, probably the best mechanic I've ever known, and everything I've learned is off him. I'm not saying I'm a good mechanic either, but I can tinker with stuff and figure it out.
Shade tree mechanic.
Yeah. I can figure something out. You give me either somebody that knows how to do it and I can learn from them, or give me some YouTube and I can figure it out pretty much in a day. So we've worked on that motor. We got it working to where we needed it to work. I can get about 35 miles per hour out of that boat.
Yeah.
I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying that's what I got out of that boat.
Yep.
A dangerous day one day. But yeah, it floats good now. The wood, there's a couple rotten wood spots inside the boat, but it's mainly superficial type stuff because it's just an old boat. I mean, it's 50 years old.
Well, what's cool though is I've seen a bunch of, when I started deep diving into mine, boats last longer than anything else I've seen. Like when it comes to cars, because like the worst thing you can do to a motor.
Well, two-stroke motor is so easy to work on and so easy to maintain, and so easy to fix.
And then even the four strokes, like I've seen, because from a mechanic's perspective, the worst thing you do to a motor or just a vehicle in general is let it sit.
But
I've seen these boats, man. These dudes are pulling boats out of sheds that are 40 and 50 years old, and within a week or two, they're getting them started, and they're not that hard. Or
no, they're not. They're not hard to mess with. Like, well, I think it's because they're still so simple.
Yeah,
they're still not much has changed revolutionary out of a boat motor.
Yeah,
since they've existed.
Yeah, exactly. Like you find an old Evinrude or an old Mercury or an old. Well, the Yamaha Mercuries, they're just, I mean, they're still dominating the game. An old Johnson, an old Johnson motor. If I can get a hold of an old Johnson 15s, anybody got one and they want to get rid of it, and let old dad here have it for a little nothing, I'd love to have it. And my dog's in the background playing with her toy. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so if you hear squeaking noises, that's just a dog playing with a toy.
But I want one. And I plan on building, and it's not any time in the, it could be in the near future if I stumble on one, or it could be 2 years from now. So don't quote me on this. I haven't done by this year or nothing. I do plan on getting a 14 or a 15-foot John boat, and like an old one, and redoing it, and doing like a John boat to bass boat build, and also using it kind of like a river boat because it's a little smaller.
Yeah,
in and out.
That's kind of like how my 16-foot canoe that I use with the trolling motor is. I mean, it's pretty much got the same kind of draft as the John boat. It's just a flat back canoe. But if I could like go back, and if the canoe ever gets to the point of like I just can't repair it for any reason, I will go for an aluminum John boat because I can fix aluminum a lot easier than I can fix plastic or fiberglass. For anything, even if my 76 Bumblebee if the transom ever falls back off of it again, I'm just saying, I mean, I could have someone work on it for me and pay them to do it, but at the same time, I'm not going to be able to do it. I don't have enough confidence in myself to do it, so I'd rather just buy an aluminum bass boat similar to what you got.
Yeah.
Because
is yours tiller or yours console drive?
It's console.
Oh, okay, really?
Yeah. It's got a side console just like yours. It's just a little bit not as wide as your boat.
I've seen yours, but at a distance. I never, we never inspected.
We'll get it out here in a little bit. I mean, once it starts warming up, we'll probably take it a few times, take yours a few times. It don't matter. It's about the same length. I think it's about a foot shorter than yours. I think it's a 16-footer. It's got a front casting deck, rear casting deck, side console, and it's got a side seat next to the side console. But like I said, the bolts that keep the chair fastened, the wood's a little rotted there, so it's not secure. So I have to put a cooler behind the seat to keep it from like leaning back.
I got you.
But we
can work on that.
Either way, it works. It does what it's supposed to do, and it's got some good storage space on it. It's got a live well and all that stuff. It doesn't have like a pump live well. You just take a plug and it fills up with water, type thing. And then when you go really fast, the water comes out of it. So you always got to make sure to put the plug back in it when you fill it up. But it runs pretty good. I didn't take it out none last year, but I took it out, or did I take it out once last year? I don't know. I took it out once, and I was like, I hadn't started it up in like a year, and same gas was in it from a year ago. I think I put a little bit of marine sea foam in it, just to make sure there's no water or some crud in it, and cranked right up.
Heck yeah!
But I think what we're talking about, especially about boat motors, and we're going to start talking about boat motors, and our mechanic-minded thing that we do here. I think the biggest thing is, and you could, say I'm a conspiracy theory all you want, but if you'd have to be, I'm not going to be rude about it, but you got to be kind of naive to think I'm not a conspiracy theorist about it. But the more they put into cars, like computers and all this electronic stuff, it's because the big auto companies don't want you to work on it. They don't want mom and pop garages working on them, and they don't want you working on them. They want the dealership to work on them because that's why they get their money. It's not, they get their money by selling the cars, but they get more money by maintaining the car. So that's one reason why I think boat motors, chainsaws, and stuff like even four-wheeler motors are so much easier, last longer, is because they're easy to work on. You can fix it yourself, and you don't have to plug it up to a $2,000 machine to figure out what's wrong with it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't say it. I got fairly new-ish type cars.
Yeah.
And while I have warranties on them, of course, I'm going to let someone else work on them. But, like, I think the warranty expired on my 2017 Honda. And, of course, I do all the oil changes and everything else myself now. I can do, like, oil changes, brakes, all that stuff. It's easy. When it comes to that engine, though, when you see all the fancy stuff in a new engine, you're just like...
Stuff. Well, I can't. So a lot of the new cars have electronic park brakes.
Yep.
You have to plug a computer in to turn the park brake off.
Yeah.
So I can't even change the brakes on my wife's car because you can't turn the
I remember because my buddy Skyler, he had electronic brakes on the rear end of his Ford Explorer. And we tried to change the brakes on it one time, and we found a way to bypass that.
Okay.
I can't remember how we did it, but we bypassed it.
There's some little tricks and trades.
We had a tool, and we just was able to get them to release.
Yeah.
But like my '95 truck that I drive around, God, I love working on that.
We can
thing.
fix that with a Gerber.
Yeah, I can fix that with I think I got all the tools in the truck that I can use to fix it. It's like a screwdriver and a wrench, and that's like all I need.
Yep.
Maybe a set of pliers. But spring plans. Well, I mean, it's not even spring yet. It's still middle February, but like I said, we've had a couple actually like really warm spells in the last little bit, and Mr. Groundhog said that we're not going to have 6 more weeks of winter.
Okay.
But at the same time, there's no wives' tale. It was not before last. It thundered.
Okay.
And I've heard old wives' tale that it thunders in February. We're supposed to get a late frost.
Okay.
So I don't know. We may still have some crazy winter storms that hit in April and May, like last year. God, remember that day we went up turkey hunting up on the knob?
It was May 1st.
May 1st, and it was snowing.
Yep.
So I mean, you can always have snow in May, even in Virginia. Like most people think, it's.
Well, we also climbed above 4,000 feet.
Yeah, we were above 4,000 feet. That's not. Yeah. But like I'm saying though, everybody says, winter lasts forever. Up in Maine or up in Vermont or up in Montana. I've seen the snow in the middle of May before up here. Sometimes it's not like a big accumulation.
Well, now that I got the boat, I'm ready for spring. I can tell you that.
Oh, I guarantee you. I'm like I wouldn't say I got cabin fever because I did get out in the last couple of days, but I am ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready for fishing. I'm ready for turkey season. And after turkey season's over in the summer, I'm ready for camping.
Yep.
Even though I want to try and hike a little bit more in the spring, like mostly day hiking.
Yeah.
Really just to get myself in shape. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, when the summer comes around, take the bikes out a lot. I want to camp a lot more with the family, which we've planned on taking our camper a lot up to the Breaks Interstate Park up here because it's got a lot of good campsites up there. Mm-hmm. And there's a swimming pool. They're building a swimming pool up there actually right now, and they already got a little water park up there.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's a good idea for your kids too. It's only an hour drive from where we're at.
Yeah.
And they got 4 big old campgrounds that are fully they got all the utilities to them. So, and then of course you got state parks and national forest campgrounds and all that stuff. So we're going to try and camp a lot this summer. And then I don't know if I'll have the time to do it this summer. We talked about going to our deer camp spot, and it's going to be a little bit further away than last year's deer camp spot. We talked about maybe going up there and do a turn and burn, at least to find out if we can get the boat up there and utilize it in the river that we're going, or we can at least take my camper up there and utilize it on some spots during deer camp, and we can literally use the camper as a base camp.
Yeah.
And the best part about my camper is it's so light that Zac can pull it with his truck, and we can minimize our vehicle footprint.
Oh yeah.
So that's always a good thing too. So yeah, this podcast, we're just talking about what we're looking forward to about fishing, the boats, and I warned Zac about it. I said it's going to be a great thing to have, but at the same time, you're going to sink a lot of money into it.
Well, once I got it, because I kind of revamped it right out of the gate, so I've kind of mitigated. I think I've mitigated a lot of like future headaches because everything that was like,
which I think where it's an aluminum boat, even if you do have to revamp it, you're not going to have to worry about rot.
Exactly.
That's a big thing.
There's nothing on the boat that'll rot. I've already got, so the foam, so a lot of John boats do have foam under the floors. I gutted it, replaced all that. So that's all brand new. The aluminum won't rot, obviously. There's no holes in the boat. The motor, I got the motor running good. I might get it tuned up. Probably at the end of the season, I'm probably going to take it to a shop and let them actually tune it up and see if they'll tell me what they're doing, like maybe watch them and see what they're doing so I can just tune it up here next time. Do that. The wiring-wise, some of it, the guy I bought it from, he had already replaced some of it, and he does good work. and he had already replaced some of the wiring. Some mice had got to some of the cables. I've already replaced all those cables. I have backup cables for those cables. I'm trying to think what else it was. The brand new batteries. I got a brand new trickle charger. So everything is kind of revamped. There's the electronic wise, because I know some people that are into fishing and boats. It has a very, very old Piranha on the back, and it's like the old, like, it looks like a calculator screen, like it's all pixelated, you know. And it's at the steering column, and it's just one of the small, narrow ones. I love it because it's great for just depth finding. Just knowing, like, while I'm driving the boat.
I can recommend you a good Piranha update that's very cheap. It's the Piranha 4i. I got that on my boat.
Yeah.
Less than $100. And it's fully colorized.
Yeah.
It's depth finder, good fish finder.
Well, that one, if it's working and the depth's correct, and it seems to be, I'm just going to maintain that on the driving console,
perfect.
just because that's mainly for me. Just I'm not fish finding with that, right? I'm not sitting in the driver's seat trying to fish.
Yeah, if you're fish finding, you're going to have that on the you're going to have one mounted on the trolling motor.
Exactly. So I'm planning on putting a pretty substantial, nice one on the front, not a live scope. If somebody wants to buy me a live scope, go ahead. Just call me. But
I've actually fished with somebody that bought a live scope. He told me what the price was, and I about like shit a brick.
Yeah.
But at the same time, seeing that thing in action.
Oh, the live scope's legit. There's no joke about it.
I almost was like, is this really fishing anymore?
Yeah, I know. So I planned on just doing probably go with a Lawrence or Lowrance, however you say it, depending who you are, how you say it. Yeah. They have some really nice ones on Amazon, and they got you can get one from Walmart. It's a 4-inch screen. It's only like $109. It's not bad. I probably will get. They have a 5-inch and then a 7 and even a 9-inch on Amazon. I'm probably going to try and get like a 7-inch, and it's under $400.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
And that's for it's got the screen. It's got the preloaded maps on it for like the continental U.S., which that's all I plan on taking this boat to. And it comes with the transducer. So I'll probably just see if I can get. I'm gonna try and score that 7-inch. I might go to the 5 and save $100, but we'll see. But I plan on putting that on it. But people caught fish for years without electronics, so I don't have to have it. It's just it's a want and just another upgrade.
It's a luxury item.
It's a luxury.
It's a nice luxury item.
But no, even in the summer, my wife and kids are all water dogs. Like all of us love the water, so that's what I plan on doing. So we'll probably be at the lake pulling tubes and letting kids swim and stuff more than fishing during the summer. So.
Oh yeah, that'd be the best thing to do.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, guys, we're about done, and we'll catch you all next time.